Hello strangers, Eleni back with another watch video. Today I'm wearing this. This is a brand new winner. It's a very cheap Chinese watch brand. This is not the stock strap. And it's the Mark 15 automatic. It's an automatic hand winder with a really weird date window. But we will talk about this one in a couple days. Today we're actually going to be talking about an Orient. So let me show you the box. Ta-da! This is the box it came in. Oh gosh. Oh Jesus. There we go. And this is the kind of box you get when you get an Orient. Excuse the smudges, I've already opened this one and resized it. Came with a guarantee book and the instruction manual in all different languages. Alright, what kind of Orient did I buy? This is an Orient Mako 2. It's a pretty decent watch. Let's get out of here. So this is an Orient Mako 2, and I got it off of Amazon, of course. Right now they're going for $113 on Amazon. At least the one I bought, the listing I got it from is. If you wanted to look this up, get it off of like Long Island Watch, it'd be somewhere around 170, maybe a little bit more. Is it worth what I paid for? We're gonna find out. Let's go over some specs. So first, this bracelet, go ahead and get the boring stuff out of the way. It's a pretty solid bracelet, solid links with brush on the top, polish on the sides. It's got push pin adjustment pins. It's got 3 micro adjustments. It's a scissor clasp with a locking button. Pretty handy. Got hollow end links, of course. 113 bucks. What do you expect? But it's a 20 millimeter. It goes from about 20 millimeter and it tapers down pretty quick down to 20. And it wears pretty good. It only pinched my hair a couple times, but honestly for the price I think this is a very decent bracelet. Alright, there we go. Pretty decent little case, and before I get it all smudgy I do want to talk about the finishing. It's got polish on the sides, brushed on the top, polish on the bottom, and a very simple case back. The engraving on there, the movement, caliber, 20 bar, water resistant. I love their logo. I've always liked Orient's logo. So about this case, the specs on the size is it's 41.5 case diameter. It's 46 millimeters lug to lug, and they're pretty drastically curved. This wears very nicely on the wrist. It doesn't take up too much space for how big it is. And for a diver, I think it's pretty small. It's 14 millimeters thick, relatively slim. And the caliber in here is the F6922, which is a 22 jewel hack hand wind automatic movement. They're quoted at being plus or minus 25 seconds a day with a 40-hour power reserve. I did some research, some reading around, and most people are getting plus or minus 10 seconds a day, which is pretty common and it's pretty agreeable in my opinion. It's got a screw-down crown that's signed. It's got a mineral crystal. It's got a matte black dial. If you get the blue or the Pepsi version, it's going to be sunburst, but this is nice and matte black. I think it's pretty good looking. It's got applied indexes, applied logo, a little bit of ink on there. The hands are loomed, the indices are loomed. It's got a loom pip on the bezel, but the second hand is not loomed. But I don't know how I feel about that. It's got a framed day-date window. And this bezel in here, it's a 120 click dive bezel. And it's kind of hard to get going. I think it's going to wear in. But kind of hard to grip as well. Almost no play whatsoever. With aluminum inserts. It's a good looking bezel, but I'm kind of questioning whether or not it's as good as it should be. So Orient, the brand, they've been around since 1950. They became a subsidiary of Epson Seiko, and if you know the name Epson, they make printers. They became a subsidiary of Epson Seiko in 2009, and they were fully integrated in 2017. But they still make their own movements. This is an in-house movement watch, and I guess the trade-off for being a part of Epson Seiko is they also make printed parts and electronics. So I think that's kind of funky. I think it's kind of cool though. So what do I think about this watch? It's nice. I'll be honest, it is nice, but I'm not in love. It's not really hitting me like the SKX or some of my other watches. It's a very conservative look to it. It's not ugly, but it's not necessarily a great looking watch. I think it's very simple. It does its job for sure, and I do like tool watches. It's very legible, except for that second hand isn't loomed, which I think is kind of silly on a dive watch. And speaking of dive watch, it is rated for 200 meters, but it's not ISO certified like the SKX is. And a lot of people compare this to the SKX, like it's it's the SKX's rival. But honestly, a lot of people don't talk about Orient, and I understand why. They do make nice watches, but they're not just absolutely amazing. I don't really have a lot of complaints about this watch, to be honest with you. It's, other than the bracelet. The bracelet's, it's a nice bracelet, but it only has those 3 micro adjustments on the clasp, so it's not exactly the most wearable bracelet. It's either just too big or almost too small, no matter what I do. For the value though, $113 for a watch that's got 200 meter water resistance, a pretty decent bracelet, awesome finishing on it. This is absolutely superb finishing. It hacks, it hand winds, it's an automatic, it's got really good lume, and I'll throw up a lume video, I promise. I think for the value, it can't be beat, to be honest. It's a good looking watch. It does exactly what it's advertised to do, and it's pretty cheap. But let's focus on some different bracelets, see if we can't church it up a little bit. There it is on my OG Bond NATO. One of the things I do like about this watch are those curved lugs that aren't very tall. It's not too imposing on the wrist. A lot of watches in the 22mm lug size, you can't really throw them on a NATO because they'll just sit too high. But this is pretty nice. Right, there it is on this NATO. This is a very nice strap. I don't remember who makes it. If you guys hit me up in the comments and ask me, I'll remember after I post the video. It's a very solid strap, and I don't think it fits this watch. Alright, that's a little better. This is my Barton Canvas. It's pretty nice. I've had this strap a while. I usually wear it on my Vostok Amphibia, but I think it needs to be on the bracelet though. Let's check that out. I put the bracelet on backwards. So that's the Orient Mako 2. I think it looks pretty decent on this bracelet. I think it's a decent watch overall. Like I said, it's definitely nice. Not exactly in love with it. I think it's definitely worth the money I paid for it. It's definitely going to get some wrist time. Guys, I just had a lug pin pop out because I didn't have it set in correctly. But, wow, sorry about that. Anyway, let me guys know what you think. Do you think it's worth the $113 I paid for it? How do you think it compares to the SKX? Or just another simple, relatively affordable dive watch? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. And if you like Orients, hey, go for it. Just make sure you wear what you like.